Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. So today I am doing my 6 to 9 month update on having a baby. So the first 6 months we've already done, and now we are going into the second 6 months of having a baby. It's just wild. I sometimes look at her and I still feel like I'm just au pairing for someone else. Like, who are you? It's so strange that you're here. So yeah, it still doesn't feel real, even though 6 months have passed, but it's quite a journey. I mean, the positives and the negatives like balance each other out. But yeah, it's just been such a fascinating change to me as well. Like the transition from like 0 to 3 months, and then 3 to 6 months, and now 6 to 9 months is just so different each month, basically. Like there's so many changes that happen. Like I still can't believe that she went on her first plane trip to Cape Town in January. And yeah, the second treat and her first Christmas and everything. It's just been like such a wild time. So she was 6 months on Christmas Day, which is so nice, having her little half birthday on Christmas Day. So from 7 months would be on the 25th of January, which is actually when we were in Cape Town. So she took her first flight. We went on the 24th because I had the ice store on the 25th. So yeah, she turned 7 months in Cape Town on her first trip, and yeah, I'm surprised she was so good on the way there. On the way back, it was another story because everything was delayed and she was just crying the whole time. I don't know if I spoke about this on the last episode, but anyway, I had my first breastfeeding in public experience. Thank goodness Tasha bought me this giant cape because everything was delayed by 30 minutes, so I wouldn't have had enough bottles prepped. So yeah, I had to sit and feed her in public, and no one really actually cares. I think it's just that we're so used to being at home or covered up. Like I am. I'm not like an in public person. So for me, I was like so nervous. But you know what? You actually have to do what you have to do. I had to keep those bottles for takeoff and landing. So yeah, even though I was so prepared, I'm in control, I wasn't in control. Yeah, and then again, when she was crying so much on the plane, because then she was overtired, because now it's like 30 minutes extra overdue, and I had to feed her again just to keep it quiet. So it was just, yeah, I suppose I needed that experience to teach me that it was okay, and if it happens, it happens. But yeah, it's funny how breastfeeding feels so normal now. I suppose if it's like 6 and 7 months in, it should be. It's not as like invasive as I felt like it was in the beginning when she's taking up so much of your time. It becomes so much easier, and then you're just like, well, it's so much easier just to feed her. Let me just go and feed her myself. So it's become normal, which is nice, which I didn't think it ever would. But developmentally, she's just like so keen to crawl, and she's been rocking and rocking. It's so funny. Like if you put a beat behind it, it looks like they're just trying to dance. Rocking and rocking, trying to crawl, and then like moving forward on the knees, but not actually able to crawl yet. But she's been babbling a lot. She said mama, which I was so proud. So basically her first word was mama, and now she still like carries on like mama, mama. And then she always moans to reach the dogs. Like she's so keen to get to them and play with them. She just like moans and moans. But she can crawl on the bed. Like when she's on the bed or on the cot, she like can crawl like a few little crawls. But it's funny because not on the floor, which is so interesting. I think because it's so soft, and it almost, with it being so soft and like almost springy, it like obviously like just kind of catapults them forward. But yeah, 7 months loving her bath still. I think because when you can like sit up more, when you're in the beginning lying down in their little like sling kind of thing in the bath, they still love it, but it's different to when they can sit up in the bath more and then like kind of splash around, which I think they start enjoying it more. She still hates it when I take her out the bath, and drying her and dressing her. It's still like not her favorite thing. So I don't know if I should be grateful that she loves the water, but it's just like, it just puts me off. And then like having to put her to sleep, and then she's fighting sleep. But what I have found helps is having earphones in, and then I listen to like a course or a talk or something. So even if she takes like an hour to go to sleep, I don't get so angry anymore. I used to get really frustrated at night because that's when I work most of the time. So I'm like, oh my word, that's half an hour of work I could have done. I'm on deadline. I really need to do this. So now if I'm like studying or something, then I feel like I'm not, inverted commas, wasting time, even though it's not a waste of time, because with her, it's just that I'm like a really efficient person, and it just got me so down. Like I was getting annoyed. So now I don't get annoyed anymore, because I am being the multitasker that I am destined to be. So 8 months. Well, she cut her first tooth. Is this something we need to experience again? Well, nothing prepares you for when they are teething. It's just another level. Super clingy and whiny, and she woke up every hour the one night. Every hour. There was not enough coffee in that day, let me tell you. Nothing prepares you for that. It's like being worse than the newborn stage, because at least then she was sleeping every 2 hours and she wasn't trying to move. So it was nice because she was immobile. She also started crawling at 8 months, which is cute. It's so funny because they're so unsure of themselves, and they kind of like take like 1 or 2 little leopard crawls, and then they like look at you like, and then they get excited. So it's really sweet. And then she's trying to sit up from lying down, which is like, I mean, if we try and sit up from lying down, it's like a proper crunch, like a proper sit up. Like it's just not easy. And then she started clapping her hands on the 8th of March. And she did this little peace sign on the 9th of March, which is quite cute because that is my grand's birthday. So I don't know if that was her being cool. I used to actually, I almost found the photo. It was so funny now that I'm only thinking about this now that I'm reading it, because I make notes in my phone. But I have a photo. I always used to make my grand do the peace sign with me when we had little selfies. So, oh wait, I've just put this together now. So I must actually go look, because that was on her birthday. I didn't even think about that. I've got those photos somewhere. So cute. I'll go find them. I'll post them to my story. And then another thing she started doing, so we got her a high chair because she was in a bumbo for a while, but she was in a high chair when we went to do a secret sunrise in the Berg at Champagne Sports, and she loved it. It was like her first experience being in a high chair, and she was just like loving being at the same level as us instead of like being sitting on the floor. So I got her one at Hypermarket. It was like on special for 250 Rand or something. And her favorite thing is to eat her wafer biscuit and then like have the biscuit hanging over to Boston, but she loves to tease Boston. So she's teasing her like, I'm going to give him my biscuit, but then she's just laughing. She's like, I'm not, which is so cute. And then again with the teething, so she cut her first tooth, it was the bottom tooth, and then both bottom teeth were cut through by the 8th of March. So it was a lot. So yeah, so by 9 months she had both of her bottom teeth have cut through. Her pincher grip is so good, and it only started now in like in her 9th month. So accurate, like she just puts her little fingers together. Like I'm sure most of you know we have raisin toast in the morning, or I do, and then I give her some of the like soft part, little pieces, and she is so accurate. She just goes with her 2 little fingers, picks it up. Half the time her pinky is in the air. It's like a running joke now. And she literally straight into her mouth, like the accuracy, like it blows me away. Like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of you eating so daintily. I even did an Instagram story and I asked everyone, I said, is it a girl boy thing or a child thing? Because everyone kept commenting saying she eats so daintily, like how is she so neat? I'm like, I don't know, I was feeding her from the spoon half the time. I didn't let her do it. And then like with the raisin bread, I'd let her do it. And then with scrambled eggs, she feeds herself and like some cheese. So she's just got her accuracy down. I think she knows that she's meant to be neat. So she started pulling herself up to standing on the couch or the ottoman in like one movement. It's crazy. She's just, I think it's because she's so good with squats maybe. So the reverse is easier for her. And she even like stands with one hand holding on now, like big stuff, and looks so proud of herself. So funny. But yeah, the feeding is just my favorite. Like I put her feeding herself bread or cheese like such a lady. My gran used to be like that, so we were laughing about that. She absolutely loves water. So like in the pool, and we've got her own little pool now as well, because it's so much easier to just pop her in there in the sun or in the shade, but generally in the sun just to get some vitamin D. And she got a little hat on, and she loves crawling on the grass. Thank goodness that we had renovated the wall and flattened the grass. I don't know if any of you remember what it looked like before, but it's literally like a completely different house. So it's just beautiful now, this huge open space for her to crawl, and just so much safer. There's no ways we would have actually, it would have been so stressful before because we had such a bank and had rocks, and it was just a fence, not like a wall. It was gross. So she loves crawling on the grass now, which is so nice. And she'll crawl from like the lounge to the kitchen. So from going from like one or two little crawls and then like waiting and sitting, she just goes so far now, and she just wants to walk. When you put your hands and hold her hands, she just wants to walk. But she has this new little shriek when she gets excited now. I'm not even going to try and replicate it. You can go look on my highlights reel or something. But it's just like a kind of, I almost want to do it, but I won't. But it's like so high pitched, and she just laughs all the time, which is so cute. And it, like when they laugh, it's so funny because it like makes you want to laugh as well. Well, you do laugh, and then you almost get emotional because it's so cute that you're just like, oh my word, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And then she cut her top teeth as well, like literally one after the other. It was insane. It was the top one, and I was like, oh my word, the top one's coming through. And then it was just by itself, little loner, looking a little bit dorky. And then the other one straight away, I'm like, oh my word. And then she started whining about the teeth. So I haven't been sleeping very well. But I mean, all these milestones are just so cute, and she's talking so nicely. Well, like not talking, but she's like trying to talk, like the babbling. And I've got these amazing stacking cups that I actually bought at Baby Bright Stars, and they're 80 Rand. And at the time I was just buying them because I thought, okay, for eventually. And I put them in the cupboard and then only took them out like recently. Like, I didn't know if I would use them or if I'd give them away as a gift. But at Baby Bright Star is so nice because like there'll be like a book lady who leaves her books there, and you can just choose them and zap her. And then the toy lady was there and she set up. And I mean, it's just so much easier when it's already somewhere where you are, you know. And then you're also supporting a small business, which is so nice. And me myself knowing how important that is and how much it means when other people support me, then I'd like to support them as well. So did that, and flip, she is obsessed with them. So you like, they all stacked into each other so they can pull them out, and then you can tower them, so like from the biggest to the smallest. And it's like her favorite thing to play with these little cups. And she likes to tap them against each other. So that's something they learned at Baby Bright Stars, like tapping two things in the middle. So that's her thing, is tap, 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 tap. So yeah, with her breakfast in the mornings, with her little My Little Ponies, I love putting that on because I think I like watching it as well. It just keeps her a little bit busy while I'm making everything. And then she likes to sit, and she doesn't even really watch it. She's just kind of, it's in the background while she's doing her little tower, and it just lets me finish my tea and take a breath. And yeah, screen time in the morning. That's what she gets, is like 20 minutes of My Little Pony so that I can also just have a breath. But breakfast is like my favorite time with her in the mornings. I'd really, really enjoy it. And it's just so peaceful and no one else in the house is awake. So it's like almost like our own little time, which I think is important. As tired as I am and, you know, as flat out as it is, I think that I'll look back in a year or 2 or 5 and really appreciate that time with her. And I'm sure going forward, even when she's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, it's still going to be the same way. I don't think that Nick will ever get up before me. I don't think in like 10 years he ever has, unless he's going to cycle or something, which is only like a new thing in the last 4 months. So I feel like it'll always be me getting up the earliest, and I think it'll be like our little thing together, which is nice. So yeah, I'm just looking at it as really special times and special memories. And you know, you think that it's nothing at the time, but looking back, if you had to ask her, obviously you can't now, she can't talk, but when she's 3 or 4 or 5, when you ask, they'll like these little moments that seem so insignificant to us, to them it's like such a big moment and something that they love as well. And it makes me like, oh, it makes me emotional thinking about it. But we need to appreciate the small moments as well, because I think to them it's like such a big moment that we don't even realize. And something so simple as raisin bread watching My Little Pony with my mommy, like I feel like to her it's going to be like her favorite thing as well. I did my 9-month photos, and I have to be honest, like doing them every month, I was so excited in the beginning because I documented all the way through, like all from like 8 weeks all the way to 9 months. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to do it the same way back to show people how to lose. I didn't expect to lose the weight so quickly or for my stomach to go down so quickly, to be honest. Like I was fully prepared and I'd given myself at least 6 months, and I was going to start only from 6 months, start like, you know, training properly and kind of like ramping it up a little bit. I'd given myself this like grace period and said, just leave everything, just eat a little bit healthier, just walk and be kind to yourself and speak kindly to yourself. And yeah, and I think it's because I didn't put the pressure on myself, and mentally I was in a really good space because I'd been kind to myself and set these really good intentions. I think most people are like, when I have my 6-week checkup, I'm going to start running, I'm going to do this, I'm going to diet, and often your body then pushes back and it's just like, no, just calm down. And if you have pushback from your body and it's not doing what you think it's going to do, then it's because it's got a reason why, and it's because you probably aren't in the right mental space and you're probably putting too much pressure on yourself, and you're probably not speaking very nicely to yourself in the mirror, which I was. I mean, I have been the whole pregnancy. Literally the day after birth, the first time I saw myself in the mirror going to the shower and you still look pregnant, like I was like, you are so beautiful, look how amazing you look, I love my stomach. Like I was saying like such kind things to myself, and I really meant it. Like I know sometimes I say like to start this kind of habit of being kind to yourself, even if you have to fake it, do it because it becomes a habit and a good habit, and then you start believing it. But I literally believed it, and I really meant it when I was saying it to myself. So I think because I was in such a good headspace and saying all these kind things to myself, my body was just like, you know what, here you go, this is your gift, which is really nice. I don't like the term bounce back, but I did kind of, inverted commas, bounce back quite quickly. But it's not because of genetics or anything. I worked flipping hard the whole way through. You know, I was walking and exercising and training and everything until like 8.5 months, and I was only stopped because of my pelvic splitting. Which I did all the photos every month. After like the 3rd month, I really did feel like I was over having to do it, because what I found was that people don't like when you succeed. They only like when you fail. And when you are at rock bottom, or you failing, or you are posting because you're not losing weight, and you know, it depends. On Instagram, I find it so interesting how if I hadn't lost the weight so quickly, and I was still looking like I was pregnant the whole way through, people would have been telling me I'm so brave and well done and you look beautiful both ways and whatever. But because I lost it that quickly, I only had about 5 people, and they're mostly friends, that would be like, oh, you look amazing, well done, like you've done so well. Or, it's just so interesting. And I don't look for outside validation, let's be honest. I'm a self-love coach. I know, and I teach you guys this, that your mind only believes what you say. So there's literally no point in getting compliments from other people, because it goes in one ear and out the other in 20 minutes, and your mind doesn't believe them anyway. So I know that it doesn't matter, but I just find it so interesting as a social experiment, how people, when you are down, they're kind of like there and they're just commenting and supporting. And I don't know if I think that it's because it makes them feel better about themselves and their lives, because then it resonates with them. Maybe when you are doing really well and they aren't in the same space, it doesn't resonate with them. So yeah, I found it, I actually started getting annoyed with myself that I had to keep posting these photos, because I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I get like one comment of support and then other people are scrolling and eye rolling, and I just didn't feel good about it. So that was just a little negative thing that I felt the last few months. But yeah, having to post my last one on the 9 months in, 9 months out, I was so glad it was over. Sounds so silly. I'm so proud of myself, and that's all that matters. But yeah, that's just how I felt. Like I didn't feel supported by many people. So it almost made it a little bit of a negative experience, and it was something that I was doing to try and help people and show people what your body is capable of. But yeah, it wasn't a very nice experience for me. But I know that I did really well. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself now. I think I look amazing. I feel amazing, which is more important. And I just feel really happy, healthy, and stable. And I think that's the most important thing. So my takeaway in the last 9 months would be, give yourself 9 months to adjust to life, adjust to being a mom, your hormones adjust, your body adjust. Don't be so quick to try and get your body back. Just enjoy what you can do. Walking is amazing, even around your garden, but put your little one in a carrier, or push them in the neighborhood, like go for a walk, go on the promenade, do whatever you can. Obviously, it is not a great time now with coronavirus and lockdown and all that, but my advice to you, you might be listening to this in a year's time, but my advice is, don't try and do too much too quickly. Enjoy the moments, especially the first 6 weeks. Just kind of like live in your little bubble. And then, yeah, give yourself 9 months. And you had 9 months of in, so you need 9 months out. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And it goes so quickly. I know everyone always says that, but you don't realize it. So yeah, I've very much been living at each moment and documenting each moment and really living in it. And so I don't think I've taken anything for granted. But yeah, just sleep as much as you can and rest, and don't focus on the body so much. Focus more on the mind. Do 5 minutes meditation if you can each day before you go to bed, and it really, really does help you to stay focused. Even if you go for a walk and you put your headphones in and you listen to something meditative or a podcast, and definitely still look after yourself mentally as well. Self-love is the most important thing. Got to try and put yourself first as much as possible as well. So I hope that this was a little bit helpful, and I can definitely recommend going to baby classes. Really helps with their stimulation and just to meet other moms and not compare, but like it's nice when you have milestones around the same time. And Pey Pey was going to start swimming lessons, and then the coronavirus happened, so she hasn't started swimming lessons yet, but I've taken her in the pool, and I know she's going to be a water baby, so she can easily catch up. I was a swimmer, so I think she'll be okay. But I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and yeah, the next one will be 9 to 12 months. What? She's going to be a year. It is insane. But I'm really loving this journey, and her little personality that's coming through is just so sassy and cute, and yeah, I just love her so much. So yay for gifts that you didn't know you wanted. But I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.